Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today's Friday, March 15th, 2019. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's college basketball, NBA, NHL games. Talk a little spring training as well. And obviously, the thing I want to get to today is my mock bracket. We'll talk NFL free agency as well. Let's start in college basketball, obviously. So many conference tournaments and whatnot, and bubble talk, and everything. There's so much going on. And we're going to get through it all. And obviously going to go through the results. The MAC quarterfinal, Buffalo over Akron 82-46. Buffalo obviously playing for seeding at this point. Villanova over Providence 73-62. Villanova is playing for seeding at this point in the Big East. That was the Big East quarterfinal. A-10 second round. Rhode Island over LaSalle, 76-57. Rhode Island was my pick to be a possible surprise team in the A-10 tournament. Virginia over NC State in the ACC quarterfinal, 76-56. Virginia, I think, has the number one overall seed. Not locked up per se, but has it pretty much they're the favorites for it, is what I'm trying to say. Ohio State over Indiana 79-75 in the Big Ten second round. Ohio State, I think, is a lock to make the tournament. Iowa State over Baylor 83-66 in the Big 12 quarterfinal. Iowa State is playing very well. They were a popular pick by many to win the Big 12 tournament. UConn over South Florida 80-73 in the AAC first round. So a surprising season for the Florida Bulls comes to an end as UConn's still alive. Florida over Arkansas, SEC second round, 66-50. Florida's in play for an at-large, but I do not think they will get one. Montana over Sacramento State, 79-73 in the Big Sky quarterfinal. Central Michigan over Kent State, 89-81 in the MAC quarterfinal. That was an upset, I got correct. Xavier over Creighton, 63-61 in the Big East quarterfinal. There was a blocked three-pointer at the end for Xavier to get them the win, as they are, I think, a dark horse again at large if things go bad for some of these other at-large teams. But Xavier's also a threat to be an auto bid stealer. George Mason over George Washington, 61-57 in the A-10 second round. Washington has made a coaching change. Kansas State over TCU, 70-61 in the Big 12 quarterfinal. Kansas State without Dean Wade. Nevada over Boise, 77-69 in the Mountain West quarterfinal. Nevada's been a little shaky in the tournament so far. Washington over USC, 78-75. That was a close call in the Pac-12 quarterfinal. UC Santa Barbara over Cal State Northridge, 71-68 in the Big West quarterfinal. That was a close call. New Mexico State over Chicago State, 86-49 in the WAC quarterfinal. And what I thought was the game of yesterday, Florida State over Virginia Tech, 65-63 in overtime. This was a fantastic game. I think both of these teams are tournament bound. Terrence Mann hit a wild off-balance runner with 1.8 left to give Leonard Hamilton's squad the win. Nebraska over Maryland, 69-61 in the Big Ten second round. That was a huge win for Nebraska to keep their slim tournament hopes alive as they've emerged as a surprise team in this tournament. Maryland, this might cost them a seed line. Auburn over Missouri, 81-71 the SEC second round. Auburn's a popular pick to go to the title game in the SEC tournament. Memphis over Tulane, 83-68 in the AAC first round. Weber over Portland, 81-71 in the Big Sky quarterfinal. CSC Fullerton over UC Davis, 75-71 in overtime in the Big West for quarterfinal. Texas Rio Grande over Cal State Bakersfield, 85-70 in the WAC quarterfinal. San Diego State over UNLV, 63-55 in the Mountain West quarterfinal. I was correct with that. Colorado over Oregon State, 73-58 in the Pac-12 quarterfinal. That was the pick I got right. St. Joe's over Duquesne, 92-86 in the A-10 second round. I don't know what happened to Duquesne and how they faltered at the end of the year. But St. Joe's is indeed the surprise that ended up in the quarterfinal that I didn't think would. New Orleans over Lamar 76-74 in the Southland second round. I actually picked Lamar to win that game. I was wrong. South Alabama over Louisiana 70-69 in the Sun Belt second round. That's an upset. NC Central over Delaware State 75-57 in the MEAC quarterfinal. Northern Illinois over Toledo 80-76 in the MAC quarterfinal. That's a big upset there. North Carolina over Louisville 83-70 in the ACC quarterfinal. West Virginia over Texas Tech 79-74 in the Big 12 quarterfinal. West Virginia's been the surprise of the Big 12 tournament so far. They're in the semifinal. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but good job by Bob Huggins. Marquette crushes St. John's 86-54 in the Big East quarterfinal. St. John's is going to be holding their breath on Selection Sunday. That was a pathetic performance at home, pretty much. Old Dominion over Louisiana Tech 57-56 in the CUSA quarterfinal. That was a close call. Minnesota over Penn State 77-72 in overtime in the Big Ten second round to keep perhaps their tournament hopes alive. Alabama over Ole Miss 62-57 in the SEC second round. So Bama keeps their slim tournament hopes alive. UAB over UTSA 85-76 in the CUSA quarterfinal. So that was an upset that I predicted. Southern Utah over Northern Colorado 83-64 in the Big Sky quarterfinal. That's a huge upset in that conference. Howard over Bethune-Cookman 80-71 in the MEAC quarterfinal. I had Bethune-Cookman winning that game. SMU over Tulsa 74-65 in the AAC first round. St. Louis over Richmond 71-68 in the A10 second round. Yale Monroe over Coastal Carolina 80-50 in the Sun Belt second round. Southeast Louisiana over Central Arkansas 79-65 in the Southland second round. Utah State over New Mexico 91-83 the Mountain West quarterfinal. Utah Valley over UMKC 71-64 in the WAC quarterfinal. UC Irvine over UC Riverside 63-44 in the Big West quarterfinal. Bowling Green over Ball State 99-86 in the MAC quarterfinal. And I believe Ball State opened as a favorite in that game, which was lunacy to me and obviously was not deserving of a favorite. Arizona State over UCLA 83-72 in the Pac-12 quarterfinal. Mississippi State over Texas A&M 80-54 in the SEC second round. So Billy Kennedy's about to be fired. Seton Hall crushes Georgetown 73-57 the Big East quarterfinal. I think Georgetown's done. Western Kentucky over North Texas 67-51 in the Conference USA quarterfinal. Duke over Syracuse 84-72 in the ACC quarterfinal. The return of Zion Williamson. He was a perfect 13 of 13 from the field. He was sensational, and that sets up a highly anticipated rematch with North Carolina, which I'll preview in a couple minutes. Kansas over Texas 65-57, the Big 12 quarterfinal. Iowa over Illinois 83-62 in the Big 10 second round, so that was an upset pick gone bad. Southern Miss over Marshall 82-73, that was another bad upset pick. That was the CUSA quarterfinal. Big Sky quarterfinal, Eastern Washington over Montana State 90-84. I had Montana State in that one. That was a bad upset pick. Wichita State over East Carolina 73-57, the AAC first round. Long Beach State over Hawaii 68-66 in the Big West quarterfinal, so there's an upset for you. Grand Canyon over Seattle 84-75 in the WAC quarterfinal. Fresno State over Air Force 76-50 in the Mountain West quarterfinal. Oregon over Utah 66-54 in the Pac-12 quarterfinal. Oregon's a potential bid stealer. There's a team that I thought would make the semifinal. And we have a couple games underway right now. UConn-Houston is in the second half, and Houston's leading them 47-29. VCU over Rhode Island 37-34 at halftime. I did say that I thought Rhode Island could have been a surprise team in this tournament. Michigan State-Ohio State is in favor of Michigan State by 1 in the first half. Florida and LSU. LSU's up by 8 right now, and then the rest of the slate 1:30. And by the way, my picks for these games that I just listed off. Houston, I have winning this game. If I'd assumed the line on this, I would have said Houston would have been a 10-point favorite, and Houston was favored by 12.5. I still would have taken them to cover that number, and they look like they're gonna. Rhode Island and VCU, I would have had VCU as an 8-point favorite here, and I would have taken them to win, but Rhode Island the cover, and I got the line right. So VCU, I say would win, but Rhode Island would cover. Ohio State, Michigan State, I had Michigan State penciled in as a 9.5-point favorite over the Buckeyes, and they're favored by more than that, 11. I think Ohio State's going to cover. I would have picked that before this game got underway because I did just project the line to be 9.5 and end up being 11. LSU, Florida, I would project LSU to be favored by 7 because I think people are down on this team because of the Will Wade situation. And LSU's favored by only 4, and I think that is an absolute steal. UAB Old Dominion's getting underway at 1:30 on the CBS Sports Network. It's the CUSA semifinal. Old Dominion's favored by 3.5. I'm going to take them to win and cover. Memphis and UCF. UCF's favored by 3.5 on ESPN2. AAC quarterfinal. I'm taking UCF to win and cover. They're the better team than Memphis. 2:30 NBCSN. George Mason and St. Bonaventure. Bonaventure's a 4.5-point favorite. I think they'll win and cover. Nebraska, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's favored by 8.5. They'll win and cover. That's a 2:55 tip on the Big Ten Network. 3 o'clock ESPN. Auburn, South Carolina. Auburn's favored by 8. That's a big number. I think South Carolina covers, but Auburn wins. Grambling and Prairie View. Prairie View's favored by 3.5. That's a 3:30 tip. SWAC semifinal. I think Grambling falls short, and Prairie View wins and covers. 4 o'clock CBS Sports Network. Southern Miss, Western Kentucky. It's a pick 'em. I'm taking Western Kentucky. 6 o'clock ESPN Plus, Sun Belt quarterfinal. South Alabama, Texas State. Texas State's favored by 6. I'm taking Texas State to win, but South Alabama to cover. I just think that South Alabama is going to show up for this one. And then you have NBCSN, St. Joe's, and Dayton. Dayton's favored by 6. They'll win and cover. ESPN Plus, Southland semifinal. New Orleans and Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State's favored by 5.5. I think they'll win and cover. MEAC semifinal, Howard and Norfolk. Norfolk's favored by 5.5. I think they win and cover. 6:30 CBS Sports Network. Central Michigan and Buffalo. Buffalo's favored by 13. That number is very big. I think Central Michigan's a good team, but I think Buffalo obviously wins, but I think Central will cover. Fox Sports 1, Big East semifinal. Xavier, Villanova. Villanova's favored by 7. I think they'll win, but Xavier covers. 7 o'clock ESPN, Florida State and Virginia. Virginia's favored by 9. I'm taking Virginia to win and cover. SEC Network, Alabama, Kentucky. Kentucky's favored by 13. I think Kentucky wins and covers. Minnesota, Purdue. Purdue's favored by 9.5. I think Purdue wins, but Minnesota covers. Iowa State, Kansas State, Big 12 semifinal. Iowa State's favored by 2.5. I think they win and cover. ESPNU, SMU, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored by 7. I think Cincinnati wins and covers. That's the AAC quarterfinal. Big Sky semifinal, Weber State, Montana. Montana's favored by 4.5. I think they win and cover. MEAC semifinal, NC Central, NCAA&T. It's a pick 'em. I'm taking NCAA&T. Yale Monroe, Georgia Southern, Sun Belt quarterfinal. Georgia Southern's favored by 2.5. I think that's a steal. They win and cover. Southeast Louisiana, Abilene Christian. Abilene Christian's favored by 4.5. I think they win and cover. St. Louis and Dayton. That's the A10 quarterfinal. Dayton's favored by 4. They'll win and cover. I think that's a steal. Game of the night, game of the week. Duke, Carolina. Zion Williamson finally gets to play against the Tar Heels. The game's in Charlotte. Duke's favored by 3.5. This is going to be a great, great, great game. Do I think the right team is favored here? Yes. Do I think the point spread's right? I think they're a half-point off. I think getting Carolina at 3.5 is a steal. I think this is a 3-point game either way. But in my ACC tournament predictions, I took Carolina, and you know what? I think Carolina's actually going to win because I just like the way that team's been playing. I just think that it's going to take a while for Duke and Zion to get going a little bit. Worst case scenario, I think Duke wins by 3, but I just have a gut feeling Carolina's going to sweep them, and I just love the way Kobe White's playing. They love playing against Duke. This group, the veterans of Cam Johnson and Luke May, that team just thrives playing against the Blue Devils all the time. So I really, really like Carolina here to pull off the upset and send Duke to the 2 line. SEC Network, Mississippi State and Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 5.5, though. Win and cover. That's the SEC quarterfinal. Mountain West semifinal, San Diego State and Nevada. Nevada's favored by 11. I think Nevada wins, but San Diego State covers. Big 12 semifinal, West Virginia, Kansas. Kansas is favored by a whopping 10.5. I think they'll win and cover. but I've been doubting West Virginia too much pretty much this past couple weeks. And this is a good run by Bob Huggins' team. They're playing their best basketball of the season, but I just think that the Jayhawks are way more superior. West Virginia's gone through so much turmoil this year, and I think that Kansas is potentially playing for a 3 or 4 seed here. So give me Kansas to win and cover. Seton Hall, Marquette. Marquette's favored by 4. Guess what? I'm taking Seton Hall outright here. And they are playing just fantastically well. So I like them to be in the conference tournament final for the Big East. WAC semifinal, Texas Rio Grande, New Mexico State. New Mexico State's favored by 9.5. I'm taking them to win and cover. Wichita and Temple, AAC quarterfinal. Temple's favored by 1.5. I'm taking Wichita to go to the semis. I love the way they've been playing. Colorado and Washington. Washington's favored by only 2.5 against Colorado in the Pac-12 semifinal. I'm going to take Washington to win and cover. I think it's going to be close. Northern Illinois, Bowling Green. Bowling Green's favored by 2.5. I think they win and cover. That's the MAC semifinal. Big 10 quarterfinal, 925 Big Ten Network, Iowa, Michigan. No line yet, but if I had to project one, I'm going to say that Michigan is favored by 8.5, and I think they'd win and cover. Although Iowa put up a good performance finally against Illinois the other day. Long Beach State, UC Irvine. UC Irvine's favored by 9. It's a 9:30 game. Big West semifinals. I'm taking Irvine to win and cover. Alabama State and Texas Southern. SWAC semifinal. Texas Southern's favored by 9. They'll win and cover. Southern Utah, Eastern Washington. Big Sky semifinal. Eastern Washington's favored by 4. I think they... You know what? I'm going to take Southern Utah here. It's just the gut feeling. Oregon, Arizona State. Oregon's actually favored by 2.5. 11:30 ESPN. Dave Pasch, Bewalton special. I think the wrong team's favored here. I like how Oregon's playing. I like Lewis King. But I really like Remy Martin and the Sun Devils here to go to the title game. They were my pick to win the Pac-12 tournament. Bobby Hurley's a big game coach, so give me Bobby Hurley and the Sun Devils here to go to the final. WAC semifinal, Grand Canyon and Utah Valley to pick them. I'm taking Utah Valley. Fresno State, Utah State. Utah State's favored by 4. I think they'll win and cover. That game's on CBS Sports Network. And midnight Eastern, ESPNU, CSU Fullerton, UC Santa Barbara. Big West semifinal. I am taking UC Santa Barbara to win and the cover. Before I do my NBA, I'm going to do my mock bracket right now, actually, while we're on the subject of college basketball. I'm going to have another one on tomorrow's podcast. My number 1 overall seed right now is the Virginia Cavaliers. My number 2 overall seed and your 1 seed in the East, the North Carolina Tar Heels. I think that they're going to beat Duke tonight, and then they'll beat Virginia because I have them winning the ACC tournament. I just like how that team's playing. And I think they'll end up with the number 2 overall seed. Number 3 overall seed, number 1 in the West, Gonzaga Bulldogs. Number 4 overall seed, 1 seed Midwest, the Michigan State Spartans. My 2 seeds in the Midwest, I have Kentucky. In the West, I have Duke. In the South, I have Tennessee. In the East, I have Michigan. 3 seeds in the West, I have LSU. The South, I have Houston. The Midwest, I have Texas Tech. In the East, I have Auburn. 4 seeds, the West, Purdue. The Midwest, Florida State. The South, Wisconsin. In the East, Iowa State. My 5 seeds, South Kansas, East Marquette, Midwest Kansas State, West Virginia Tech. 6 seeds, East Villanova, Midwest Nevada, South Mississippi State, West Cincinnati. 7 seeds, West Wofford, Midwest VCU, South Maryland, East Louisville. 8 seeds, Midwest Buffalo, East Washington, South Ole Miss, West Syracuse. 9 seeds, South Seton Hall, West Ohio State, East Minnesota, Midwest UCF. 10 seeds, East Baylor, West Iowa, South Arizona State, Midwest NC State. 11 seeds, Midwest Oklahoma, West St. John's, East Murray State, South Play-in Game TCU, Utah State. 12 seeds, Play-in Game Midwest, Temple, Belmont. East, Davidson. I have Davidson winning the A10 tournament auto bid. South St. Mary's and West Liberty. 13 seeds. West New Mexico State, East Vermont, Midwest UC Irvine, South Georgia Southern. 14 seeds. East Old Dominion, South Bradley, West Montana, and Midwest Yale. 15 seeds. South Northern Kentucky, Colgate, Midwest, East Northeastern, West Gardner Webb. 16 seeds. West North Dakota State, East Fairleigh Dickinson, Midwest Play-in Game Norfolk and Sam Houston State, and South Play-in Game Prairie View and Iona. I'll do another mock bracket on tomorrow's podcast. As I mentioned, there could be different teams in there and whatnot depending on results. Now on to the NBA. I'm just going to do scores and then little discussions on some teams as I go. Pacers over the Thunder, 108-106. Big comeback win for Indiana. Wesley Matthews got the tip in with 1.8 seconds ago. That was a bad loss for OKC, too. Magic over the Cavs, 120-91. Magic playoff hope still alive. Celtics over the Kings, 126-120. Big come-from-behind win for Boston. Raptors over the Lakers, 111-98. As the Lakers are just a mess at this point. They just need to stop showing them on national TV. Jazz over the Timberwolves, 120-100. Great win for Utah. And the Nuggets over the Mavericks, 100-99 on a buzzer beater by Nikola Jokic. Tonight's slate, 7 o'clock, the Lakers at the Pistons. Whoa, Detroit's an 11-point favorite over the Lakers. I would have never thunk that. Is LeBron not playing or something? That's so weird. I thought that line would be 6 in favor of Detroit. Kings 76ers, Hornets Wizards, 8 o'clock NBA TV, Bucks Heat, Suns Rockets, Trailblazers Pelicans, 8:30 Knicks Spurs, and 10:30 NBA TV, Bulls Clippers. That line's low too. Clippers are only favored by 8.5. The NHL, big slate last night. Penguins over the Sabres, 5-0. Huge win for Pittsburgh. They're 4 back of Washington. Islanders over the Habs, 2-1. Islanders are 2 back of Washington in the division. Capitals over the Flyers, 5-2. They hold serve at first place. Sens over the Blues, 2-0. Bad loss for St. Louis. Lightning over the Red Wings, 5-4. Credit to Detroit for keeping that competitive. Stars over the Wild, 4-1. Big win for Dallas. Jets over the Bruins, 4-3. Big win for Winnipeg. Coyotes over the Ducks, 6-1. Huge win for Arizona. Predators over the Kings, 3-1. Good win for Nashville. And Panthers over the Sharks, 4-2. Bad loss for San Jose. Tonight's slate, 7 o'clock, the Flyers at the Maple Leafs, the Hurricanes at the Blue Jackets, 8 o'clock, the Golden Knights at the Stars, 9 o'clock, the Ducks at the Avalanche, the Rangers at the Flames, 10 o'clock, the Devils at the Canucks. I'm going to talk a little bit about spring training, just going to go through some results and notable things. Yankees and Blue Jays tied at 1. Miguel Andujar had an RBI ground out in this game. Luis Cessa is making a case to start the season in the Yankees rotation with the suspension of CC Sabathia and the injury to Luis Severino. 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Oh, breaking news, LeBron won't play tonight due to load management. So that explains why that Pistons line was so high. I knew something was up. Vegas knew before we did. And meanwhile, for Toronto, Matt Schumacher, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Red Sox and Tigers tied at 4 yesterday. Steve Pearce homered for Boston. Edward Rodriguez, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Matt Boyd, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Marlins over the Astros, 12-6. Sergio Romo got the win. Alex Bregman hit a home run in this game. Robinson Chirinos homered for Houston. Dan Straley, 3 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Colin McHugh, 2 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Twins over the Orioles, 7-6. Among notable things in this game, Williams Ostillo hit an RBI single. Austin Hayes, the former highly touted prospect, RBI double. In this game, Jake Cave hit an RBI double. Ronald Torres hit a home run. Jace Peterson hit a home run. Dylan Bundy, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Mets and Cardinals tied at 1. Zach Wheeler, 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits, and no earned runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Michael Wacha, 5 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He's having a good spring training. Pirates over the Phillies, 11-2. Jake Arrieta got rocked in this game. Trevor Williams gets the win. Arrieta, 3 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout. He's having a bad spring. Trevor Williams, 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. He's having a fantastic spring. Phillies over the Rays, 4-3. RBI double Nick Williams. Mike Zunino homered. Dylan Cousins homered. Emilio Pagan was the Rays opener here. 2 innings, a hit, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Nats over the Twins, 10-4. Eric Feed gets the win. Wilmer Difo, RBI single. Victor Robles hit a 2-run home run. Eddie Rosario homered. Mitch Garver homered. Byron Buxton sac fly. Eric Feed, 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Angels and Brewers tied at 7. RBI double by Travis Shaw. Justin Bour hit a 3-run home run. Jesus Aguilar homered. Yet Christian Yelich homered. Mike Moustakas homered. Freddie Peralta, 3 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. The Dodgers and Reds tied at 3. Phil Bourbon homered for Cincinnati. Sonny Gray, 3 innings, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. He's had a good spring so far for the Reds. Heijin Ryu, 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Indians over the Rockies, 9-3. Shane Bieber gets the win. And the loss is charged to former highly touted prospect of the Toronto Blue Jays, now of the Rockies, Jeff Hoffman, who went 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Meanwhile, my breakout pitcher pick of the American League, I've been saying this over and over, Shane Bieber, 5 innings, no hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. His spring ERA is 0.90. Rangers over the Royals, 5-4. Ryan O'Hearn hit an RBI single. Edinson Volquez gets the win. Jacob Junis the loss. Danny Santana's had a fine spring for the Rangers. He hit another home run. Edinson Volquez, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Jacob Junis, 4 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Cubs over the Rangers, 2-1. Yu Darvish, 4 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. His spring ERA is 2.45. Diamondbacks over the Giants, 3-0. Luke Weaver gets the win. Derek Rodriguez the loss. Rodriguez, 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits, and an earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Weaver, 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. His spring ERA is 0. Dodgers over the Padres, 12-0. Kenta Maeda gets the win. Robbie Erlin the loss. All Dodgers in this one. Maeda, 4 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. His spring ERA is 2.7. Robbie Erlin, 3 innings, 8 hits, 8 earned runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. And now for my best bet of the day, brought to you by DraftKings. Yesterday I did poor. Texas Tech cost me because they lost to West Virginia. And I have not been doing very good in these best bets of late. I'm going to go with Auburn. I'm not super bad at Wisconsin. Buffalo. Villanova. Kentucky. Virginia. Purdue. Nevada. New Mexico State. I'm not touching Kansas because West Virginia has spoiled the bracket, giving them a little respect. Texas Southern, or not spoiled the bracket, but spoiled the Big 12 bracket, but spoiled my best bet selection. So yeah, Texas Southern, UC Irvine, and that's 11 right there. It's plus 609, wagering $1 with the payout of $7.09. That's it today for the podcast. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from college basketball, NBA, NHL, spring training. Looking ahead to everything tomorrow, I'll have another mock bracket, and I'll obviously have my best bet for tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.